Aho, na chini karagiwi, wakatega, wahanakshana, egijige hampe, anichoeda, haipin. Kinship, we're back. We're here with the second part of this week's module on kinship. We are going to be talking about sibling relationships today. Now, if you have not done the first module in this series, which is titled Kinship 1.1, please be sure you go back and do that. This is not going to make much sense to you if you don't already have that under your belt. Similarly, there have been a ton of modules that we've been doing as part of the Safer at Home series, the Hoyte online independent program. If you haven't worked your way through those modules, again, please go back and make sure you're going through that. It's a ton of good information. Everything builds on each other, and you're going to get so much more out of it if you do. Okay, so I want to keep these next few videos relatively short. It's just basically introducing some new concepts, a few new vocabulary words, but it builds on what we did in the Kinship 1.1 module. So we'll get right into it. So Kinship module 1.2. Today we are going to be talking about siblings, but from the female perspective. So some foundational concepts. Sibling relationship terms in Ho-Chunk depend on the gender. So it depends on the gender if you're talking about your own siblings, whatever gender you are or identify as. And if you're talking about somebody else and their siblings, it also depends on their gender that they identify as. So women and men use different terms for their siblings. Also, one other important concept to understand in Ho-Chunk is that our relationship terms also vary depending on age. So there's a different term you use for an older sibling versus a younger sibling. So like in English, we can say brother, you have to add older or younger to it. But in Ho-Chunk, it's just one term. There's a different term for an older brother versus a younger brother. So let's get into it. I have put together a completely fabricated family tree for everybody to look. So let's take a look again from the female perspective at this young lady. And let's start with her older siblings. So first we'll have her older sister. So what is the term for older sister in Ho-Chunk? It is hinu. Hinu. So again, it also is the same term for the oldest born daughter, which you guys remember from the birth order module. But hinu is older sister. What about her older brother though? What does she call an older brother? Hichido. Hichido. Now that is a term that females use for their older brother, or if you're talking about a female about her older brother, that's the term you would use, hichido. So those are the older siblings. What about the younger? Well, the younger sister is called hichunk. Hichunk. And that is what a female, a woman, would call her younger sister. And how about a younger brother? Hisunk. Hisunk. That is what a female calls her younger brother, or you would call a female's younger brother. So let's just review really quick. Hinu, older sister. Hichido, older brother. Hichunk, younger sister. And Hisunk, younger brother. I don't know why it went out of order like that, but we're going to be good with it. That's all right. So these are the 4 new vocabulary terms that you need to know for, at least from a woman's perspective, sibling relationships. Now, we're going to also incorporate now some things that we learned in module 1.1, which was, if you remember, that kinship verb he. So I want to run through a couple of quick sentences with everybody. So let's have a look. Here again is that same family tree, but this time we have the names of people on there. So Wihanga Hichidohira Jagu Higaire. Wihanga Hichidohira Jagu Higaire. What is Wiha's older brother name? Wihanga Hichidohira Kunuga Higaire. Wihanga Hichidohira Kunuga Higaire. Okay, makes sense. Her older brother is named Kunu. Wihanga Hichankira Jagu Higaire. Wihanga Hichankira Jagu Higaire. What is Wiha's younger sister named? Wihanga Hichankira Haksigaga Higaire. Wihanga Hichankira Haksigaga Higaire. Wiha's younger sister is named Haksiga. Now you'll notice that even though I am a man, I am using the female terms for these sibling relationships, but that is because I'm talking about Wiha. I am talking about a woman and I'm talking about her siblings. So I'm using the terms from her perspective. If I was talking about myself and my own siblings, or if I was talking about Kunu and his siblings, I would be using the male terms, but I'm not. We're talking about Wiha. So if you are a woman, if that's the gender that you identify with, that is when you would use these terms. And if you're talking about a woman and her sibling relationships or someone who identifies with that gender, you would use these terms as well. Now, just like in Kinship 1.1, we went over formal versus informal terms. And here we have, once again, the terms we just learned. And these are the formal. Hinu for older sister, Hichido for older brother, Hisunk for younger brother, and Hichunk for younger sister. Well, there are, again, the informal terms that individuals use if they're speaking usually directly to people who are related to them this way. Older sister is Nunu. Older brother is Dodo. Dodo. Younger brother, this isn't super common, but it is, the term is Hisungaje. Hisungaje. And that can be used if you're talking directly to your younger brother. Hisungaje. Now for younger sister, I put not applicable or available, but that's because I don't know. And the speakers that I have spoken with in the past about this, they don't know either if there's an informal term. That doesn't mean one doesn't exist out there though. So if anybody has access to a speaker and you ask them and they tell you, yeah, this is what they used to call, women would call their younger sister. Please let me know and I will gladly update this video and we'll make sure that makes it into the lexicon as well. Okay. So that's all. That's all we got for this lesson. Once again, if you have any questions, reach out to any of us who are at the language division currently. You can get a hold of us by email. You can get a hold of us on Facebook Messenger, however you would like to do that. And keep your eye out. We have one more video that's coming out that's going to be talking about siblings from the male perspective. Ani chak chawi.